Anyway, my name is Laurel Lewis, and I'm on the faculty of the Southwest Acupuncture College. Can I?
Hold on, there's Sparky.
Oh, duh, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I'm very honored to be here at this graduating class, 18th graduation ceremony of this wonderful, wonderful class that I've had the privilege to teach. It's really amazing to me that you guys were, not so long ago, just these little bewildered newbies. And now you're ready to launch out into the world. And wow, look at you guys. Just kind of amazing. Anyway, in many cultures, it's a common practice to call in the energies of the cosmos to hold and support anyone going through an initiation or a transition of any kind. So our medicine has its roots in the acknowledging and honoring of the flow of spirit in all of us and the flow of all those energies. That's what we're all about. So in that spirit, I would like to offer this little invocation to you guys to call in the energies of the cosmos to hold and support you as you go out into the world. I call on the energies of the south, the place of the summer sun, the sun that calls the plants to rise out of the ground. May it call to you to sprout as a practitioner and warm your soul to the passion of our medicine and the desire to always learn more. The south is also the place of the great deserts. So even in times when you feel in your life like your life is a desert, may you remember that the desert actually teems with life. I call on the energies of the west, the place of the high mountains that push up into the sky, massive and strong. The Native Americans called Long's Peak and Mount Meeker the two guides. May you take their wisdom and guidance with you wherever you go in this life. And may the waters melting off of their snowy peaks soften and sprout the plants that you grow here, the seeds that you grow here today. I call on the energies of the north, the place of the ancient forests and the vast silence. May you stand tall and strong in your own knowing, and also grow in that knowing by listening to the voices of our ancestors, the ancestors of our medicine, whispering in the silence. I call on the energies of the east, the place of the rising sun and new beginnings, and the great plains of waving grasses reaching far out to the horizon. May you always be reminded that you have the ability to rise to the greater vision. I call on the energies of our earth. May you be supported and nurtured in all you desire to grow, so that you can, in your abundance, return your gratitude to that which has supported you. I call on the energies of the stars above, which have, for all peoples, been the markers by which we navigate. May the light of the stars illuminate your way. So I'd like to present some people who have been important in getting us to where we are today, to where you are today. When I call your name or your group, stand and please remain standing. Okay. So the staff that has supported us all through all this time. Valerie Hobbs, Director of Program Development. Heather Lang, Campus Director. Corrine Danchik, Academic Dean. Joanne Neville, Clinic Director. Rhonda Cooper, Clinic Manager and Recruitment Coordinator. Amanda Weston, Clinic Receptionist. Amanda is here in spirit. Carrie Jones, Librarian. And Cindy Bedell, Disabilities Coordinator. Also here in spirit. Oh, she is? Oh, hi. I can't see. Here she comes. And the faculty of Southwest Acupuncture Clinic. Please rise. And any alumni that are here, please rise. Some of them are already standing, I should say. Any students, present students that are in the audience, please rise. And now I'd like to give special mention to certain very special people. Our family and friends, your family and friends who have supported you through all this. So anyone who has written a check, you know who you are, stand up. Anyone who has written a check for one of these people, yay! Yay! Keep standing. Anyone who has cooked a meal for one of these students. All right. Anyone who has helped a student study or gotten out of the way when a student had to study. The graduating class of 2016. It's our tradition to have a community speaker, someone from the community, usually of acupuncturists, who is here to say a few good words for the students as they go out on their way. Our community speaker today is Charles Chase.
It's really an honor to be here today. And I confess, I was wondering, why am I here today? Well, it's astounding to me how many of you I know. And it's always really juicy for me when people who have been students in my sphere kind of transmute into peers, into colleagues, and it's really great to see how many of you are doing that right now. So, can you all hear me? No? All right, gonna do it this way then. All right, how about now? Yeah, great. So, 2016 graduates of the Southwest Acupuncture College, the future of traditional Chinese medicine is in your hands. I mean, literally, it's in your hands. And those of you who know me know what I'm talking about. You ask me to say something, I'm going to presume to give you a piece of advice. And that advice is to cultivate the use of your hands as you move forward in your practice of Chinese medicine, as assiduously as you would cultivate any other skill. That regardless of what aspect of traditional East Asian medicine you find yourself interested in, cultivating your palpatory skills will serve you in good stead. What do I mean by that? Well, certainly far more than needle technique. Of course, it starts maybe with pulse diagnosis. We all learn pulse diagnosis in Chinese medical school. Learn as many different kinds of pulse diagnosis as you can. Don't stop there. Take that same principle to abdominal diagnosis. Learn as many different kinds of abdominal diagnosis as you can. Your hands are your most precious tool. That we can't rely on any one diagnostic parameter alone. Our hands give us a multitude of diagnostic parameters, and the more we learn to trust them, the more we will come into a deeper and more meaningful relationship with Qi. It's how we take Qi more seriously. A consequence of this is that we become more critical in our thinking about Chinese medicine. We trust it more, and we trust it enough that we can become critical. This is a fundamental premise of the scientific method. We have to have the courage to falsify ourselves, to falsify our preconceptions, what we think is going on. Palpation will help you do this. Learning to work with your hands. This is your most valuable tool right here. That it doesn't matter what aspect of Chinese medicine you're interested in. Maybe it's evidence-based medicine, maybe it's something else. That every aspect has a place for learning to cultivate your hands. And it helps you in deciding what to do and when to do it, and also then in disabusing you of many of your fondest ideas about Chinese medicine as well. How do you figure out when you're delusional about what you're feeling? Your hands. Learn to trust your hands. That will do that. Maybe you're interested in integrative medicine. Learning to use your hands, learning to listen with a stethoscope, percuss with your hands. You already know how to read a lab report. Well, learn to use your hands in the same way that a skilled physician uses her hands. That's useful for you. All of that helps us bridge that gap between medical models. Maybe you're like me, you're interested in the pre-modern literature and bringing those early medical texts to life. Understanding as many different ways to appreciate Qi through your hands helps you to interpret that material much more effectively and much more critically than you might otherwise. I've been doing Chinese medicine. Maybe this is the most important reason for me. I've been doing Chinese medicine for over 30 years. And I always have for 15 years now, I've been having these really awkward conversations with colleagues. You know, we're the old hands at Chinese medicine, and they say, "Yeah, you're getting tired out. You're ready to write your memoirs or something like that. You know, you're going to do more teaching, whatever." It's like, are you kidding? Chinese medicine is just getting interesting, all the more interesting for me. I'm never any help with this. Those people, so many of us, we burn out. And one of the most important reasons for me to have not burned out in my practice of Chinese medicine is that Qi is real in my hands. I have a real appreciation for the relationship between form and structure, between Qi and form. All those things are real to me in a non-abstract way because I've cultivated that. I'm an egghead. Any of you who know that, any of you who know me, know that I'm an intellectual guy, and this has really helped balance my intellectual tendencies out as well. So, I'd really encourage you to cultivate your hands, whatever aspect of Chinese medicine that you really get interested in. I'm a fan of sci-fi. I love science fiction, right? But it always irritates me when our vision of the future, the medical future, is all based on technology, right? We have a tricorder or something that we can wave over our patients and say, oh, he's dead, Jim. Or something like that, right? What, you can't take a pulse, right? Right? My vision of a future of Chinese medicine is one that, sure, makes use of technology, but it makes use of the most sophisticated palpatory tool there is that we know of, and it's our hands. So I'd really encourage you to continue to contribute to that, contribute to that aspect of Chinese medicine and how that then informs biomedicine and is informed by biomedicine. So it makes everything more real the more we use our hands. So thanks for letting me be here today and rant at you for a few minutes.
And our next speaker is from the faculty, one of us. And it's our very own Ted Hall.
Hi, guys. Graduating. Nice. Congratulations are in order, no? That was a lot of work. You toiled and labored under the guise of federally funded higher education. And now check you out, sitting here dressed to the hilts, quivering with excitement as you perch at this ceremonious threshold into professionalism. It's pretty frickin' awesome. You people are masters of this medicine. At least that's what it says on the diploma you just paid $90,000 for. You are now acupuncturists, and that is outstanding. Thank you for asking me to speak. It is really an honor. It's been an honor to participate in all of this with you. And I love that I get to see you in your first class, your first semester, when you don't know your yin from your yang, and when your enthusiasm easily outpaces your knowledge. And then I get to see you again later in the program, treating patients in clinic, opening yourselves to the practice of what you've been learning, and it's a remarkable transition to watch. There's nothing I like to see more than people working hard to stand up to their great potential. And I see that in clinic. I see it right here, right now. It's pretty great what you know how to do. Last week I was part of a discussion with one of you, someone about to graduate here, and the things she was saying just blew my mind. She spoke about moving forward to begin her practice with such a confidence in our medicine and her place with it, and such a positive drive to bring it to her community. It was as though she was channeling a few thousand years worth of practitioners, all in that one moment. And I was pretty blown away in the face of the empowerment and the accomplishment that she displayed. And I'm thinking how lucky all her patients are going to be. I seriously can't imagine a graduate leaving our school in a better position. This is a really powerful group of people sitting right here. You guys have clearly moved into a position of solid readiness, making yourselves available to what lies before you. And I'm super stoked for you. You've done something truly wise and unbelievably beneficial for yourself and for anyone lucky enough to wander into your sphere. You've launched yourself onto one of the most difficult and important paths in life. You have chosen medicine. And there's really nothing more awesome that you could be doing with your time and your energy. You have joined the absolute best profession in the world. You get to use your mind, your body, and your spirit in a field you will never fully understand. Earn a living offering the greatest gift, self-empowerment, to what is truly our most valuable resource, people. Tell me that isn't unbelievably cool. So then, in the spirit of my teacher, I feel I must now scold you and admonish your achievements. My teacher continued to demote my ego over all the years that I studied with him. And the reason he did that is so that I would take my studies seriously and continue to learn, so that I would know that the medicine I'm studying and practicing doesn't actually have anything to do with me. And so that when a patient gets better, I won't think I did it. One of the few times I remember him offering praise to me was when I first passed my licensing exams. The practical portion was the final test in that process, and he said, "I would have been really pissed at you if you had failed that." He said, "You know a lot more than most people." After that, he went back to stepping on my ego. And when he finally asked me to teach, he made sure that the only reason I would teach is to learn. Any other reason was not okay. And the same is ultimately true of practice, treating patients. We have to put any personal need for recognition way in the back seat and commit ourselves to the lifelong learning process. That's what keeps this medicine alive. His point, and mine to you, is that despite the glory of this super sweet moment right here, you are so far from finishing anything. You're just getting started. You have a mountain of learning in front of you, and the hardest part of this is just beginning. The will to continually hold the center of your medicine, to carry that load for your patients. This may indeed be the end of grad school, which, as I'm sure you are acutely aware, is totally awesome. Yet, this is really just the beginning of your studies. You're not so much completing things today as you are starting things. Maybe that's why it's called commencement. Seems logical. So that's the admonishment. You have so much work to do. And that work requires a commitment and seriousness that pales in comparison to what you've just accomplished. And unlike grad school, it doesn't end. But of course, that's what makes it so wonderful. There's so much more in this study of life than we can possibly imagine. A human is nothing less than the universe itself. And you're monkeying with it every time you stick needles in somebody. You just spent several years learning to speak an unfathomably beautiful language, and you can now use it to converse directly with the universe. But to keep this magic alive, you have to be continually nourished by it, you have to be serious and consistently make yourself available to it. You cannot let whatever dung you've got swimming around in your shen distract you from showing up for this. There's nothing better than treating somebody, right? And for that to remain true, you have to keep a beginner's mind. As soon as you think, I know this, or heaven forbid, I'm good at this, then you lose the gifts of insight that come with humility and innocence. And the medicine will dry up in your hands. It can become stale and stagnant. The world has plenty of technicians. So I guess I'm inviting you to create something bigger, to work hard to grow your medicine, to bring it forward, to see your medicine as an essential part of your community. This stuff wasn't handed down on stone tablets so that we can use it now. It was created by our ancestors, and that process continues ancestors includes you. It's your turn to pick up the baton here and run. It's not enough to just use what you've been taught. You have to take it somewhere, turn it into something new. So here's my advice. Do not just proceed based on the knowledge that you learn at this or any school. Yet do not abandon that knowledge for any other answer. You have to create your own version of this medicine, and you cannot do that just by knowing stuff. My teacher, Masahiro Nakazono Sensei, of acupuncture practice, he said, first you must study. Learn all the points, the pulses, and diagnosing, until you know it without fail. In the beginning, you will succeed with just your techniques. But then, if you do not go from your heart, after a few years, nothing you can do. So we have to find that part of ourselves that is greater than our mind in order to get into the center of this medicine. We must productively integrate all of our capacities, and that is a lifelong study. My teacher also told me that after 10 years of study and practice, you can say, okay, now I'm a beginner. And I took him seriously and vowed to never stop my studies, to always remain a student of this medicine, to offer my life to it. And I'm inviting you to join me. This medicine is not your job, it's not what you do, any more than it is who you are. And in truth, who would want a lesser relationship with it? Never let go of this. No matter how difficult things get, no matter what does or does not happen, cling to the medicine you create, and it will carry you through anything. This is your superpower, your special gift for you and from you. This is your magic tool to participate in the greater world needs, your key to help make any situation better. And you should seriously play it like a beautiful instrument. So right now it's transition time, right? You just finished a lot of stuff. So go take a well-earned break. Travel, thank people who helped you, go through your voluminous academic endeavors. Do something wonderful that you love that you couldn't do while you're in school. Recover, liberate your shen. Then find your spot and get to work. Be serious and discover for yourself what this medicine really is, what human life is, what health really is, and who you are. My teacher said, remember, there is only room for one in the treatment room, and it's not you. Find the layers of what he meant by that, and offer yourself to what is in that treatment room. May your medicine enhance your own life even more than your patients. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thanks, Ted. So now we're going to hear from the students, the ones who are graduating. We're going to hear from Alexis Mahan and David Gorski.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. So, after 4 years in Chinese medical school, it has become abundantly clear that the old ones, like Laurel talked about and Ted talked about, the ancestors of this way, are well worth listening to. So for this occasion today, here's a story from the classics. It is from the Taoist Lao Tzu, adopted by a translation from Eva Wong. Exchanging hearts and minds. 2 men who fell ill went to see the same doctor. The doctor cured both of them, but before they left, he said, "You are both suffering from a disease that attacked your internal organs. That's something quite common and could be taken care of by acupuncture and herbs. However, there is a virus that is attacking you, which affects your hearts and minds. Do you want me to cure this illness for you?" The 2 men said, "Let's hear about it first." The doctor then said to one man, "You have good, strong ambitions, but your willpower is weak. Although you are good at planning, you can seldom see things through. Turning to the other man, the doctor said, "You, on the other hand, are the opposite. Your ambitions are weak, but your willpower is strong. Therefore, you get into trouble by doing things recklessly without thinking things through." Then to both of them, he said, "If the two of you can exchange your hearts and minds, then you'd both be perfect. Now, do you want me to do that for you?" Both his patients agreed. The doctor gave them a drug that made them unconscious for several days. Then carefully he removed their heart, exchanged them, and applied a magical herb so that when both men woke up, there were no physical signs of the surgery. This is not in our scope of practice for them. So, as the men walked home, they were delighted, but the moment they stepped in their houses, trouble began. The first man had gone to the second man's home and was not recognized by his wife and children, and the second man had gone to the first man's home and the same thing happened. Both families were angry and frustrated. They went to the law courts to settle the matter and only accepted the circumstances when the doctor explained the whole situation to them. No one is born perfect. And even if science and technology can do wonders, solving one problem could create another. Therefore, it is better to accept who we are and not want to be someone else, for each person has his value. So the point here, and by the way, this is not a classic medical text, more of a parable, just for the record, but the point here is not to forsake our work, throw in the towel, hang up our toolkit, and go home because we don't want to make trouble for anyone by practicing this medicine. Nor is it a lambast against science and technology. If anything, this is a cautionary tale against heroic intervention, and a reminder that we can relax some now. This medicine can work through us uniquely, and it will use us just exactly as we are. At this time in our nation, this place is absolutely ripe for Chinese medicine. More than ever, when faced with serious and shocking medical diagnoses, people are summoning courage and considering medical treatments, medical methods that they agree with, that align with their personal notions of health, and they are coming to practitioners of Chinese medicine and asking for help. We have a host of allies in the biomedical world now who are walking towards unification, seeing detriment in separation, and recognize the authenticity of our craft. We're being asked to partner with them in the service of healing. And Chinese medicine is now being recognized on the international level for the tool of justice that it is. Our medicine is affordable, it is effective, and it is extremely portable. In coming times, we may be asked to serve on a larger and a grander scale, but for now, we can help out our neighbors with the tools that we have, and there is no better gift that we can receive and that we can offer. So, let it be said that the Southwest Acupuncture College graduating class of 2016 was in the right place at the right time, and because it is what it is, and we are as we are among the cast of those who are rightly called for the job. Maybe among us are material innovators who will change the game with a product or program none of us knew we could ever live without. Or maybe one of us will change the market as we know it, offering an option beyond the standard business models we have offered today. Maybe one of us will focus on self-sufficiency and grow Chinese herbs and manufacture quality Chinese needles right here locally so that we can be insured with professional longevity right here where we are. And maybe one of us will walk out of here today and do something completely different. Because after these years, the education and teachings of this medicine are landed in them in such a way that they are being asked to be expressed differently through them, which is all totally beyond our knowing. So beneath all your chairs today, graduates, is a printed compilation of words of wisdom from our professors at SWAC. Among them, Albert has contributed an adaptation for acupuncturists from the book War of Art, which reads, "If you find yourself asking yourself and your friends, am I really a healer? Am I really an acupuncturist? Chances are you are. The counterfeit is wildly self-confident. The real one is scared to death. The point is not to swagger out here today, nor to stay cowered in a place of doubt, but maybe to be endowed with a sliver of remembrance. To know that indeed we have inherent value and indeed it can shine through us on this path that we are on. Moreover, in its utmost generosity, may the medicine live in us and through us in such a way that it endows our sense of sight, our sense of hearing, and our sense of touch with the same gift of remembrance, so that with every patient that comes to see us and trusts us with their care, we're able to see, we are able to listen to, and we are able to feel the inherent value and health that lives in them too. And above all, may we stay humble and steadfast in this pursuit. So as we know from the great teachers of yin and yang, one never exists without the other. Likewise, we are celebrating here today because of everyone else that is in this room, and so many others whom we wish were here today but cannot be. Thank you to the SWAC administration for your tireless work, the faculty who clearly work so hard for the love of this medicine and its proliferation, and to the patients who support our student clinic and give us their trust and believe in us from the very beginning. Thank you to the predecessors in this medicine, the thousands of folks who over the centuries in China literally gave their lives to refine and protect and pass on this treasure. And likewise, to our American elders in this medicine, thank you for your efforts in paving a way for us in this art. And a great thanks to the friends, families, and partners who support us in our lives. In the anatomy of life, you'd be acupuncture point bladder 36, Cheng Fu, which is the point where the cheek, the butt cheek, the cushiony butt cheek meets the upper leg. And its English translation of this name is hold and support. That is you guys through and through. We simply would not be here without you guys today. You stood by us and encouraged us. Sometimes you laid down your bodies and let us practice on you, even though we're not supposed to do that, never did that. We offered you crazy teas with like bugs and stones and stuff, and you just wanted some Advil, but you like went along with it anyways. Thank you so much. Numerous traditions conclude that the ultimate healer is love, and we were carried by your love, all of you. And lastly, thank you to the SWAT class of 2016. We are an unlikely, seemingly random combination people called together under the umbrella of a much greater force, far greater than this, mysterious and perplexing, which, it could be said, is the definition of family. We have worked so hard to get here today. We shed blood, sweat, and tears to get here, literally. We all know what happened in those introductory needling classes. Sometimes we needed those cotton balls, not often, but they were there for a reason. And as for sweat, I sweat profusely in clinic sometimes for no reason other than the fact that I was there, and I don't think I was alone. And as for tears, they're good. It's a good thing. Anyways. This group truly has moved solidly from cohort to community, and it is a precious honor now to move on together as inspired, reliable colleagues, and more importantly, really great friends. So in a few moments here, together we're going to recite the Oath of Sun Simiao for physicians of Chinese medicine, and they will confer upon us graduate degrees in Chinese medicine. Neither of these are trifly given nor easily won. This is our threshold, as Ted says, from ending to new beginning. May these gifts we are about to receive etch in each of us a comfortable and familiar place where the ways of this medicine may want to make a home, where it will want to live and flourish and work through our inherently valuable beings for many, many years to come. But today, on this day, we cross over a threshold from an incredible culmination to a fresh start. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So when we step over the threshold of that door today into our new beginning, may it be enlivening, enriching, and fulfilling beyond our wildest imaginations. Class of 2016, we did it.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Oh, thanks, son. Let's see. Oh, this is really obnoxious. I underestimated it. Hi, everyone. I kind of, I have a list. And actually, I wanted to go ahead and real quickly just thank some people because I didn't actually include that as part of my speech because you're all just lovely people. And I love that we've all been able to study together and to varying degrees, and we've been suffering through this, and some of us started together and some of us didn't, but we're all here. Wow. And then over here on the other side, we have these wonderful people that have been terrible people to us every now and then. Oh my gosh, some people make the meanest midterms. And of course, we all have our family, our friends, our loved ones who are here. Thank you for supporting us, whether it's just to be here or the myriad ways that you've supported us. And I promised myself that if I was going to thank people, I would specifically say thank you, Aldous, for your patience and putting up with me being in school. Thanks. I know, it's a pain in the butt. Woo! Yeah. All right, you can sit again. Thanks. So, speech. Apparently, I'm not the only one that likes to hear my voice, so here we are. The founder of Naropa, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, once famously said, the bad news is you're falling through the air, nothing to hang on to, no parachute. The good news is there's no ground. So enjoy the fall. I was trying to think about how to even talk about where we're going and what we're doing here, and it seems to me like if we're going to finish a degree about a metaphorical medicine, that I should be using some metaphor. And I really feel like this journey is a lot like the 5 phase points. So voila, welcome to 5 phase points. It's our progress. You know, once upon a time, the Jing Well found you and stuck it in you. You found like this little prickle. You found acupuncture. Oh my God. There it was. It was right there. It said hello. You said hello back. I know I'm not talking to you guys that much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But so the medicine found us, and we moved on. And eventually we got to a spring point, right? We went to school. We actually made it come out. It wasn't just like, oh, well, this is here. We're like, holy crap, I can do something with this. And so we went and we met all of these lovely, well, not all of these lovely people, but many of these lovely people right away. And then, of course, I think that the source point was that first year. I mean, Ted talked about that pretty well there. That, like, you know, the enthusiasm was way more than the knowledge. We had no idea what we were doing. We were just swimming around in it like it was amazing, like a source point is supposed to be, right? Like, we're just like I am soaking this up. It is amazing. And, you know, and I might have brought a different quote in if I had paid better attention to the schedule, but just as we have all done multiple times throughout the course of our education, I know, because I have done it, and I have heard you all say it, oh my God, Ted Hall was right. School is not the medicine. School was freaking hard. School was the river, right? As soon as we got into the second year, we were in that hard river place. We were hitting the rocks, we were moving, we were doing too much, we were struggling. It was horrible. It was horrible. Everybody who has a master's degree knows. It doesn't matter. It was horrible. Doctorate even more so, probably. I wouldn't know. Anyway, so today we find ourselves at the Hasi point. Welcome. We're about to fall off the cliff into the great sea of Chinese medicine where we will be swimming around for the rest of our lives, exploring the unfathomable depths, the crests of waves. Who knows what we're going to find? I love it. It's amazing. And so I guess I'm going to just wrap it up then real quickly with another quote because, you know, why not? One of our great local heroes, heroes, healers, and a hero to me. One of our great local healers, Sonemi Rooney, who runs the clinical stuff over at the Safe House in town here, once said to me, "Those who profit from the suffering of others owe a great debt to the world in both humility and good action." And so I just kind of want to let that sit and hold with us as we move into this great ocean of knowledge, recognizing that there are thousands of years of people suffering that have come to the knowledge that we've absorbed in the last few years, and that there are thousands of people out there suffering right now that we can bring this knowledge to both hone our craft and to help them. And to remember, as we've already had pointed out multiple times, we are just starting. It's so nice to feel like we know enough to go out into the world and really practice. Oh, but it feels really good to settle into that knowledge that we don't know crap. Yeah, so enjoy it while you can, and keep swimming in the ocean and find the art. And we did it. So congratulations to you and to me, and let's go out and change the world a little. Thank you. And thank you all for putting up with me not talking to you.
And now comes the moment you've all been waiting for, the awarding of the diplomas. Are you excited? Yes. And the people who get to do this are Tristan McCoy and Joanne Neville.
Yes.
Our first group of graduates have earned the degree of Masters of Science in Acupuncture. They have completed 2,525 and a half hours in the study of 4 branches of classical Asian medicine, including acupuncture, physical therapy, nutrition, and exercise and breathing exercises. The names of these people, starting with Leslie Adrienne Abbott. Oh, and we need to make sure we get a picture of you all. So if you could turn a little bit this way as we're coming up with this. Jade Cameron. Raphael Paul Fracken. Jessica Mariah Glahn.
You're amazing.
Cynthia Esmeralda Martel Gilbert. David Gorski. Lisa Henkel. Brett Knowles. Carmen Merton. Megan O'Connell. Kelly Rose Sheridan. Christopher M. Schmidt. Deborah Wexler. Our next group of graduates are graduating with a Master's of Science in Oriental Medicine. They have completed 3,092 and a half hours in the study of 5 branches of classical Asian medicine. This includes acupuncture, herbal medicine, physical therapy, nutrition, and exercise breathing therapies. Our first graduate, or Qigong, okay, Qigong. Elise Walsh Bennett. Jenna Berg. Allison Betts. Jordan Dean Burke. Greg Dow. Kat Dunbar. Jonathan Fleming. Kyle Guaneros. Brooke Heather Hardy. Alicia Kelly.
A whole bunch of them back there. A team of photographers.
That's your posse. Alexis Mahan. Meg Maurer. Lacey Medeiros. Brittany Petrick. Andrea Rivera. Michelle Rodriguez. Libby Rudy. Sunny Tanechka.
Okay, you said it. It's kind of okay.
Let us say it wrong for 4 years.
Love you guys.
Heather Ann Terry. Ashley W. Marie. Vanessa Williams. Congratulations to all the graduates.
Forgot where we were for a minute. It's our tradition to, Western medicine has the Hippocratic Oath that they all take when they graduate, and so it's our tradition to have an oath also, adapted from the Chinese medical oath of Sun Si Miao in the 7th century, excuse me. And Albert Stern is going to lead us in that.
Hi. Congratulations to you all. You are just a wonderful, amazing group of people. This is the last thing. This is totally, totally the last thing. This is where you join the community of acupuncturists, because we're going to do this all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have you all stand. Is that a little bit better? In the back? Okay. And then I'm also going to have the licensed acupuncturists in the room stand. We're going to say the oath together. So please repeat after me. On my honor, I solemnly promise, as a physician of the traditional Asian medical arts, to humbly practice my profession to the best of my ability. I will not pretend to know what I do not know, but I will endeavor to study diligently and train myself tirelessly for all of my professional life. When I treat a patient, I will calm my spirit and fix my resolve. I will not give way to the wishes and desires, but develop an attitude of compassion. When someone comes to me for help, I will not ask if the patient is noble or common, rich or poor, old or young, beautiful or ugly. I will consider strangers, family, good friends, foolish and wise, my closest relatives, and treat them with a kind heart. I will look on others' suffering as my own and be deeply concerned and motivated to relieve their distress as I would be if I were the patient. I will be respectful and listen with kindness and understanding. I will not boast about myself, be jealous of the knowledge of others, or slander other physicians. I will not utilize my profession as a means to commit mischief or corruption. I will be proud enough to practice my medical art to the best of my ability and be humble enough to call for assistance when necessary. I consider my ability to be a physician of traditional Asian medicine as a gift to be shared with all humanity. Congratulations to all of you.
I want to remind you all about a photograph meeting at the patio as a class, I guess. And for our farewell and closing, Valerie Hobbs.
Hi. I am acutely aware that I stand between all of us and cake. But I am so honored to be asked to be the one who recognizes your last moment of being gathered together. And knowing how you were when you came and who you have become is nothing but jaw-dropping inspiring. And so I've been inspired to think a whole bunch of things in this last month about you, and I want to share a couple of them. Do you realize that collectively you touched over 10,000 patients? I counted them all up. I did the math this morning with a calculator. And it was actually 10,350 patients as a bare minimum. Some of you did actually more. By now, it should be apparent that healing is not always about results. Healing is about your willingness to be there with someone when they face the most painful parts of their lives and sometimes the most painful parts of themselves. I just don't see how we can do this if we are concerned about being right or being justified or what is in it for us. We need to recover every day from something someone said or did, or the things in our lives that rankle us a little bit before we walk into the treatment room. And I know that 10,000 times you all did that. To be truly available to use the tools you've gained means you have to stop believing everything you think. And I know I'm saying this after we've spent 3 or 4 years telling you what to think. And define this, memorize that, spit this out on a test. Hold all those symptoms in your head all the time. But this knowledge wasn't meant for 1 minute to give you the license to allow yourself to think that you know anything. Using professional judgment does not mean you get to judge. This knowledge is really about honing your senses. The only real change you can make is when you change how you view things. And so you've been engaged in seeing new ways to explain the world around you and the inner world of what's happening to your patient. And although we all chose this medicine because we see great results, taking care of patients means you have to not be attached to the result. Here's what Lao Tzu had to say about this. Achieve results, but never glory in them. Achieve results, but never boast. Achieve results, but never be proud. Achieve results, because this is the natural way. In the pursuit of learning, every day something is acquired. But in the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Accept disgrace willingly. Accept being unimportant. Surrender yourself humbly, and then you can be trusted to care for all things. It's kind of exciting to be in a profession where we rely on sages, and then we have modern sages, some of whom you heard from already. I want to relate a little story about some contact I had with a woman named Lisa Rollater, who is one of the founders of Community Acupuncture, and I had the extraordinary pleasure of meeting her this year in a professional capacity and seeing the work that she was doing, and I walked away being newly inspired about what it really means to create the space in which people can heal. And I want to talk about universal precautions. And for those of you in the audience, universal precautions is medical speak that we use for keeping ourselves and our patients safe, because sometimes diseases that we might carry and spread are invisible. We can't see them. We don't know if we really have them. And so what we do is we do the best that we can, and we do the right thing so that we don't spread a disease from one to another. Viruses don't discriminate, and neither do we. But Lisa suggests that we extend the idea of universal precautions and what they are. And she was inspired by a story of one of her patients, who's not unlike the people that you may have already seen or who you may see in your career. This patient wrote about her experience of receiving acupuncture, and this patient was in a severe car accident in her late 20s. It was the kind of injury from which she will not recover and which will create some degenerative changes throughout her life. She is facing a life of living with chronic pain. And the patient, because she couldn't move so much anymore, she gained quite a bit of weight. And when she gained quite a bit of weight and really couldn't do the things that everybody would normally expect a person to do, because she had to always manage her pain, she encountered healthcare practitioners who would dismiss her and not listen to her because they couldn't imagine that the person they were seeing in front of them could know anything about anything. And when she came to the acupuncture clinic, she said, "I felt like it was okay for me to be where I'm at." When you're so used to dealing with judgment, encountering even one person who actually does accept you can really lift you up. When you're dealing with chronic pain, everything matters so much more because your world is so much smaller. Everything that happens that's good is like a miracle. That's the part I like most about acupuncture. I know that you are treating my soul. Lisa wrote that if you can be pretty confident that everyone you see, every time they walk in your treatment door, at some point has had an interaction with society that makes them feel worthless and powerless and hopeless. And it's your job now. You just took that oath. So now it's your job, is to first do no harm. Start by assuming that every person who walks through your door is an equally valuable member of your healing community. No matter what they look like or sound like or think about anything in particular. And 2, assume that in some degree, physical, mental, spiritual, they have experienced pain. Whether they show it or not, whether they even know it or not, and in ways that you very well might not be able to understand, and in ways that you might not be able to do anything about. But if we approach everybody with this as a given, then we will always act to make people feel safe in our space all the time. Like the latex gloves and the sharps disposals, humility and kindness are just as vital in your healing life. Finally, I want to tell you what a pleasure it has been for me to work with you. And just a little history from this year, I just want you to know that this year the United States government recognizes you as a profession. That took come tax return time, you're going to have to pick that bubble that says acupuncturist, which is really cool. That took over 15 years of effort of people who liked filling out forms and making spreadsheets and giving testimony and making graphs for you. In the state of Colorado, you can legally do injection therapy. That's not available everywhere in the country. This is an extraordinary thing. Olympians are showing up with funny little marks on their bodies. Somehow we think this is new because Gwyneth Paltrow was doing it maybe 10 years ago, but now America understands that you do something and people want it. All these things are happening because somebody showed up. And here's the thing I want to tell you, show up. For some of you, that talent about showing up is going to mean you're going to change a law, or that you're going to found a new treatment technique, or that you're going to teach, or that you're going to change the world in some way that we can't even think of. For others of you, that might not be your innate destiny, and that's okay. But every day, with every patient encounter, you have the opportunity to show up. And so do that fully, with your heart completely open. Bring all your awareness, the awareness you have right now in this moment, bring it to each and every patient encounter. And I guarantee you that it will feed you, and it will sustain you, and it will create in you the delight and the medicine that you felt on that first day when you walked into Ted's class. I want you to know that sometimes, being an administrator, we maybe have not seen the best of each other. I will own that for my own self. And I want you to know that all that is like wiped, that's gone. That is, we can large intestine that. That is something we can bless and release. Because truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I have watched you really work. And you have inspired in me a renewal about why I come to this medicine and why I do what I do. And I want to thank you for that. I also have been on the treatment table, and you touched me, you eased me, and you allowed me to be vulnerable in front of you, and I really appreciate that. I am, from the bottom of my heart, I am really grateful for our experience together. And I just can't wait to see what you're going to do next. It's almost time for cake. But one more time, I want to celebrate and congratulate the class of 2016.